What's up, everybody? Now, this is an extension of the Wednesday wisdom that we were discussing and the shorts that we had, but I wanted to make a longer video about this because this is a really weighty topic and it's got a lot of stuff in it. And it can be very beneficial to your marriage and in any relationship that you have in the way that you communicate with people. And make sure that you are coming to the conversation in a way that is benefiting the other person. We want to make sure that we understand before wanting to be understood. There's so many different books that talk about this too. You have like The Meaning of Marriage, you have the Five Love Languages, you have Love and Respect, that all talk about like the differences between men and women, specifically in the context of marriage in those books. But what it does help us understand, and I believe the first book that really communicated this was Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And it was talking about how men and women communicate and how different that is and the purpose behind the communication, really. And Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, it states that, men, when they share with each other, they're looking for advice. They're looking for a solution to the problem because they haven't been able to figure it out themselves. And when women communicate, it's primarily for connection. It's not necessarily to solve the problems, it's not to get rid of it, it's not to fix things. And as men, we typically come to the conversation because we want to fix the thing. So it's like if our wife is bringing up an issue to us and telling us about all these things that are going on, what she's trying to do is she's trying to connect to us in a way through conversation. And what we hear is problem that needs to be fixed, so we want to come with a solution. And a lot of the times, I know with my wife and I, that comes with all kinds of problems. It's a big miscommunication that I'm expecting my wife to share something with me because she wants it fixed. A lot of the time, she just wants that connection of conversation with me. And if I don't ask her, hey, what are you expecting from me right now? What are your needs in this conversation? Like, what do you need from me? Do you need just a listening ear? Are you looking for my advice? Do you want me to help you fix the problem? And that way she can communicate that to me, and then I can connect with her in the way that she's expecting me to. So that way she feels heard, she feels connected, and I also understand. And it helps so much when it comes to these little misunderstandings that causes an argument or causes like a bit of tension or conflict, like, oh, he never listens to me, or oh, she just doesn't understand what I'm saying here. To be able to clarify that and communicate that with your partner and to like really connect with them on a conversational level is so important for your union and for you joining together and feeling like you have a partner in life. Marriages, that's what it's about. It is about partnership. It is about becoming one with your spouse. And the way we can do that is through conversation. And it's easier to connect if we understand what the other person is expecting from us in the conversation. And we can communicate the same thing like, hey, I'm just wanting to share this and get it off my chest, or I just want to have a listening voice here. Or we could say, hey, I want your advice on something. Can you let me get this out and then tell me what you think? And it just makes it so much easier to understand what the actual person is wanting. Because a lot of times as partners, we want to predict what our partner wants from us, and it's like we feel like we are a better partner if we're able to predict what they want from us. But in reality, what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up for assumptions and possibly creating false narratives about our partner in our own heads. And what I mean by that is if I'm coming to the table thinking and predicting what my partner wants, it can be different situationally, whatever they're talking about. She could be talking about, a conflict that she's having with a coworker or a friend. And she may just be wanting to get it off her chest, get it out of her head, into the atmosphere, into your ears, so that way you know what's going on with her emotionally. And you may be like, well, the best way to do this is, why don't you have a conversation with her? Why don't you solve the problem? And that may not be what she's wanting. And what that can do is that can cause a divide in the relationship where she feels that she's not being heard. And if she feels that she's not being heard, there's going to be a pullback. There's going to be a defensiveness that comes up. And then what that can do is that can form an emotional wall most of the time. And by communicating that and saying, hey, what do you need from me right now? It opens everything up to where she feels that you understand what she's wanting from you. And it stops me from having the assumption of, I already know what my partner wants. I am not a better partner because I can predict and anticipate what my partner wants from me. There's some things, little things that we know. We just automatically know from living together, being one with each other for so long that, yeah, okay, she's probably going to want it this way. Or, yeah, she has preferences here. But in the terms of communication, make sure that we have that clear. I know that's been an area where I've fallen short majorly, is just automatically assuming that I know what my partner wants. And by doing that, I really just cause a divide. And then I get frustrated because I'm being what feels like emotionally shut out, or she's not understanding what I'm trying to offer to the table. Whereas that's not what she was wanting in the first place. And that causes all kinds of issues. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to be very specific about understanding the other person in conversation. It makes a huge difference. It really does. When you come to the table and have a conversation with somebody, do you want to feel heard? Do you want to feel understood by that person? Do you want that person to have an understanding and expectation of what you want from them? It's reciprocal. It's the same thing. They want the same thing from us as we do from them. And it just makes life so much easier. And what I mean by false narratives is we can have this false narrative that my wife doesn't ever want to take my advice because every time she comes to me with a problem, she never takes my advice, or when I try and offer advice, she gets upset about that. Well, the reality of the situation is it may not be that she won't ever take your advice. It may be that she was never asking for it in the first place. And that's not a shot to you as the partner. It's just that wasn't what she was wanting in that particular moment. Now, she may come to you and be like, hey, I would like your advice on how to do this. What do you think about it? What do you think would be a way to go about it? And we've had circumstances in my own marriage where my wife has done that very same thing. She's come to me and said, hey, I want to tell you about this. What do you think I should do? And that's a clear communication that I know that she is soliciting my advice on how to do something, as opposed to just telling me a story or telling me the events of the day and what was going on with her and how it made her feel, and then just offering my advice like, this is what you should do to solve the problem. Problem solved. I'm done. Did my job. Greatest husband in the world. In reality, that may not have been what you wanted. So just make sure you understand what the expectations of your partner is in the conversation. Thank you all. Have a good night. If you like this video, make sure that you click and subscribe to our page. There should be more like this coming. I'm going to try and make longer videos to where I can explain these topics a little bit more in depth, because sometimes just a little minute isn't enough to convey the entire point. And I would like to be able to present a full thought to you guys. If you like it, comment below, click to subscribe, share it with somebody that may need to hear it. But most of all, keep tuning in and keep watching. And remember, if you change your mind, you change your life. All right, you guys have a good night.